collector coaster puck to any Quad City YMCA location. They'll waive your joining fee just by showing them your puck. It's that easy. And it's this Saturday night. The Storm and the Bulls. 7:10 face-off. Get your tickets today on the Storm website. Sponsored by One Step, helping Quad City businesses look good every day.
The connections made, the great times seared into your memories. And as we say goodbye to Governors, we're going to welcome the next stage in the evolution of this beloved bar. The Tangledwood is now open in Bettendorf. Exceptional food and drinks surrounded by family and friends. Check out their all-new menu combined with some of your old favorites. Enjoy the Tangledwood's new expanded bar with 40 beers on tap. Or reserve their private dining rooms for your next event. The Tangledwood. Food, drink, friends. Tanglewood and Devil's Glen in Bettendorf.
It's the hottest ticket in town. It's hard-hitting, high-flying, non-stop entertainment. It's Quad City Steamwheelers football. The IFL season kicks off Friday night, February 22nd against the San Diego Strike Force. Tickets start at only $10, so bring the entire family and meet the players after the game. Experience the excitement of professional indoor football. Call the Tax Slayer box office or visit SteamwheelerTickets.com. That's Friday night, February 22nd, the Steamwheelers versus San Diego, presented by Crawford Company.
Touchdown, Steamwheelers!
ESPN 93.5 is KJOC Bettendorf Quad Cities from the Sheedy Family Chiropractic Studio.
I wanna be a cowboy, and you can be my cowgirl. I wanna be a cowboy.
All right, we're back in the Hassle Palace, brought to you by Dunright Satellite and Dish. This is Don't Hassle So Local here on ESPN 93.5, still in studio with our Quad City Times own Bobby Metcalf.
Did you get the Book of Face working again? Or?
Yeah. You know what's amazing? That guy can legally steal an idea from somebody, but we can't just play a couple songs.
Yeah, well, you know, that's why he's a billionaire.
Yeah, I guess he is. Really don't like him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, at all.
I think he's great.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope he falls off a cliff.
You know, my problem with this whole thing is that as soon as you...
I agree with what you just said, though. Like, he can do that in the whole Social Network base of the whole entire movie.
Yeah.
But we can't play 30 seconds of a song. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the guy's a genius.
Yeah, he's still a jerk.
I don't know him that well.
You have Pints.
like him.
Pints opens up.
You're not friends with him? Not Facebook friends?
Pints has a MySpace. Pints starts a Facebook in 2008. 6 years later, they decide to get a hold of us and say, "You're not a real person. You got to go to a page," because we didn't make a page.
You weren't a business page because when they first started.
So then they say you can't do anymore. And then for a year we do this Facebook Live, and then all of a sudden at the very beginning of this month they're like, "Now you got to pay us $20 because we've been doing this for how long?" Now everybody else who wants to start doing this has to pay because more and more people are starting to do Facebook Live shows. This is driving me crazy. It really does. It makes me angry. And I guess he's got to make money too. Yeah, but it's because you.
I hate his rules, but
when you start getting comfortable and you're working things and you're growing, to make you jump through more hoops is.
It just makes you wish that the Winklevi twins had caught him running across the quad and beat the crap out of him.
No.
Oh, Serge.
Because first of all, you know that he's not making any of these decisions. You know he's sitting back somewhere like
the Russians are.
Yeah, there you go.
They disproved that.
This is like you spilling a beer and saying thanks, Obama. Like,
wait a minute, Obama didn't spill my beer?
Right.
I thought he did.
Exactly.
I'll tell you what, I really like Michelle, though.
Oh, yeah?
You guys don't like Michelle?
We're going to get kicked off the air again.
Why? I think she's cute. You don't think Michelle's attractive?
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Okay.
She holds up.
I like her.
I'm going to call the First Lady dignified. I'm not going to go cute.
She's not the First Lady, and she's former First Lady now.
Well, no, but you always get the title of First Lady.
Oh.
It's like
he was president.
It's like he's always president.
All right. Remember last week we talked about
the
possibility of changing rules or whatever.
I'm trying to be respectful there.
Now pitchers and catchers have reported. How do you feel about the new television station for the Cubs?
Don't like it.
Okay.
I mean, yes, it makes a lot of money. It's gonna make a lot of money, but I want to watch games. I'm not gonna be able to watch a single game.
Why?
Because I don't have cable. Like,
he likes having that 8.3.
I like 8-3, and there are occasional times I can watch on NBC Sports, but like I'm not going to pay for Cubs.
You're a cable cutter.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You can't even get it online on this new Cubs thing?
I'm sure you have to pay a subscription, no?
Yeah, I'm not going to pay a subscription.
You're not going to pay $5 a month?
No.
You know what, Bobby? You come to Harrington's or Pints, you can watch it for free.
Yeah, I may have to start doing that.
There you go.
And so far, we have two of the biggest names not signed in baseball.
Yeah.
What's going to happen?
Bobby, what do you think of this? Because there's a lot of I follow a lot of guys on Twitter that
you do follow a lot of dudes on Twitter.
Yeah, well, because if I can't follow females, they'll think I'm creepy. But they're out there basically saying that it's a. I've seen this, that it's a collusion amongst the owners to not sign these two.
It's not. In my opinion.
I agree with you. It's not, because let me ask you this: are either one of these two free agents a can't miss?
Yes. Both are.
Yeah.
You think they're both of them a can't miss? I mean, you think what Bryce Harper did last year is worth the kind of money he's asking for? I'm sorry, Jay.
I'm not saying that's a different argument.
That's what I'm saying. 249 is not tripping my trigger for this kind of money.
Those are two different arguments. Both being can't miss and being whether he.
All right. To me, 249 is a miss. So maybe rephrase my statement. Are they worth the money they're asking for?
No.
Okay, that's what I'm getting at. And do you think these are the best two free agents in the last 15 years? I guess I'd have to go back and do my research, but I don't feel that.
I'd say they're up there.
They're probably up there, but I wouldn't say they're the best. Now, if this was, per se, Mike Trout, is he worth the kind of money these two are asking for?
No.
But he would be more than these two.
The market's got to break. I mean, like...
I'm with you.
I have the same argument when you get to the quarterbacks in the NFL. You can't keep making, the next quarterback. Kirk Cousins can't become the highest paid quarterback in the NFL just because his contract's up at the right time. Jimmy Garoppolo shouldn't have been the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Eventually, the market's going to break. You're going to pay a guy too much, and then your entire team's going to suffer. I mean, the market has to break eventually, and I think you're seeing that's what's happening in baseball.
So you don't think that it's the owners being greedy?
No,
and trying to draw a line in the sand with the market because it's getting out of control.
I don't think so. I mean, and yes, I know there's no salary cap in baseball, so it's a little bit different than in football. But
the other argument I've seen from these guys on Twitter, I'm not naming anybody, they'll say, "Oh, baseball's made $400 billion last year." Well, that's baseball as a whole, and that's some franchises make a lot more than other franchises. So you can't hold every owner accountable for not signing these two when they don't have the kind of cash to spend that these other ones can spend. But at the same time, why would you get into the ownership of baseball, football, basketball, whatever major sport you're going to get into? Why would you be the owner of a team to not make money?
Yeah, and
why would you do it? Put all the risk. You're the one with everything at risk. Millions of. I mean, the payroll salaries that those guys
are you though? Because yes, you're at risk.
Yes,
but at the same time, what major league franchise is losing money?
I don't know. I don't think any are. But I could be wrong.
I mean,
the Marlins. There's sometimes you can make it look like you're losing money.
Yeah.
Marlins are probably the least popular.
I think we saw the same thing last year. Arrieta went unsigned for ever.
So did
Darvish.
So did Darvish.
Look, and was Darvish worth the money? No. Was Arrieta worth the money? No.
And that's what I'm getting at. I'm like, eventually someone's going to pay, but this isn't collusion. This isn't a greedy owner thing. I think it's just people saying it's not worth this much money. Why am I going to pay this kind of money for that? I don't. That's my theory on it. And then, obviously everybody's alluding to a strike coming. I don't know.
Great. You want to kill baseball again, have another strike.
And who's going to do the strike? Is it going to be the players? Is it going to be a lockout? Are the players going to strike or are the owners going to lock out?
Probably players strike, I would guess. But
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know when the next CBA's up. But.
All right, hold on a second. Hey, Easer A's, you're on 93.5.
What's happening?
What's up, my man?
Nate, first things first. Name me two better free agents.
First things first, T-Ray, watch your mouth.
Yeah.
You might get fired up.
Name me two better free agents in the last 15 years since A-Rod signed his 10-year, $250 million deal. Name me two. There's not.
I don't have it in front of me. These are because I don't care.
They're 26 years old. They're like the youngest free agents ever. These two guys are the biggest free agents.
It doesn't matter. I don't care how good they are.
They're going into their prime.
The guy bet at 249. He's going into nothing.
They're going into their prime.
249.
For batting average. What about homers? What about homers? What about
nothing when he's not on the when he can't make it on the base path?
It's not true, T-Roy. Okay, first off, he hit 34 home runs, had 100 RBIs. He led the league in walks. He had a 400 on base percentage.
What was his batting average?
249.
Okay, thank you.
What's his weighted runs created plus? What's his weighted on base percentage? Those are all better than
I don't have a computer in
249.
front of me because I don't sit there in front of a computer. I'm just using the fact that he batted 249.
So you're saying the eye test? It doesn't say that.
It doesn't. 249 doesn't meet this $1 million eye test to me.
There's not a single GM that bothers with batting average anymore.
No.
None of them care.
All right.
He's got a point. There isn't that they don't really care that much. They're going into different metrics.
These two guys are the biggest free agents in the last 15 years. There's nobody who's even come close to them. They deserve at least $30 million because Albert Pujols is making that kind of money, and he's 90. Zach Greinke's making that kind of money. You can't be like, oh, they got to draw the line. No, they drew the line by overpaying guys 5-6 years ago who are still making money. And then Harper hasn't made money.
I know what we should do. Let's just everybody throw all their money in a pool. No one makes money, and then all you guys can just get paid. And that way the owners don't make any money. And then we'll see how long your precious league lasts.
They don't pay any of these guys their first 7 years in the league, and now when they hit free agency, they're not going to pay them again. You got to have the talent on the field, or else
it's like slavery.
Not market value.
Oh my God, market value, my butt.
I'm not.
Come on,
unreal.
I'm not going to say that part of it. I'm just saying this is how free agency works. Is that if you're not going to pay them their first 6 years in the league, this is why Kyler Murray is going to the NFL. Because he's not going to get paid his first 6 years in the baseball. And then when he can hit free agency, he's not going to be able to go. So guess what? You just lost the star because these guys aren't ever going to get to play and get paid.
And he took them
These guys are going to get paid. They're just not going to get paid what they're asking for.
Just like the Blue Jays are messing around with Vlad Jr.'s clock. He's the best hitter ever in minors, according to all the numbers. He's projected to lead the American League in batting average this year. But the Blue Jays say, he's got to work on his development a little bit more before we can call him up. Maybe I'd say about 17 days in the April, and then he can come up because then he'll be ready. That way they get another year of control where they don't have to pay him any money.
That's just smart.
The
Cubs did it with Bryant, too.
But the thing is that's another way of losing a player because a player holds a grudge. They hold him back.
That's the problem.
I mean, Bonds hit what? He hit his 500th home run and got a phone call from the Pittsburgh Pirates, the general manager at the time, and he said, I would have done it last year if you would have called me up when I told you to. I mean, that's what Bonds held a grudge that long. So, I mean, that's what you lose people. You lose them because they hold them back.
It's big business, man. I mean, people are going to have to get used to that. I mean, I get what you're saying, but I just don't think these two are worth that money, man. I'm sorry. I don't feel.
Is Zach Greinke worth the money?
We're not talking Zach Greinke. We're talking these.
Yeah,
two.
but Zach Greinke sets the market. Albert Pujols sets the market. That's why these guys are worth more. Albert Pujols signed a 10-year deal when he was like 34. These guys are 26.
Yeah,
they're young. They haven't hit their prime yet.
Just because of one bad contract doesn't make everything else right, though. I don't. They're going to get paid millions of dollars, these Rays. You know this is going to happen. They're not going to go unsigned forever.
I understand that, but
what are they both asking for? You know it off the top of your head. I do not know exact numbers.
The word is, you can't believe anything, but the story is that Harper did turn down 10 years, $300 from the Nationals.
10 years, $300.
That's the story.
So that's $30 million a year.
Yes, that's the story. Now, how true it is, you don't know, because there was reports that the White Sox only offered Machado 10 years, $175, and then there's reports they offered him 8 years, $250. You don't know you don't know what's true. No one's giving away what their offer.
All right, what are the experts out there saying is the going rate? What do they think the going rate is that these guys, their agents, are asking for per se?
I have no idea. Everything I've heard is they want 10 years.
And who right now is the highest paid player per year? Do you know? Is it Greinke or is it
Kershaw? It's got to be Kershaw.
And how much is he making per year? I mean, I don't have it in front of me.
Let's see. Clayton Kershaw signed a set $34 million
per year.
Yep. And how old is Clayton Kershaw? Some people say he's over the hill already.
I think that's overpaid too, if you want my honest opinion.
Well,
for a guy that can barely win a playoff game.
I'm not disagreeing with you. That's why. That's my point. I'm saying these guys need to.
I understand what you're saying. If other guys have been paid, so the precedence has already been set. I understand that's what you're saying, but I'm saying you can't follow up bad contracts with bad contracts just because precedence has already been made. I think.
But these guys aren't bad contracts.
We don't.
They're not. I don't. I disagree wholeheartedly that they're not bad. This is something that's never been done before. These guys came up when they were 19 or 20. I mean, A-Rod signed that 10-year, $250 million deal. We thought that was, that's the stepping point. That thing was 15 years ago. I mean, Giancarlo Stanton's got 13 years, $365 million contract.
And these are guaranteed.
These guys are better than Giancarlo Stanton.
Neither with the team they signed it with. Neither finished out their careers with the team that signed those contracts.
That's a good point.
Well, it's not Stanton's fault that the Marlins sold their team and the new owner decided to sell them to the Yankees for nothing.
But I think what Bobby's getting at is these contracts lead to the teams having to get rid of them because they can't afford the contracts. Because the contract's not paying out the player or whatever's happening with the team. They can't afford to pay other players because all the money's gone to the one guy.
Okay.
I mean, is that what you're trying to say, Bobby? I guess that's what I'm essentially trying to say too, Easerays. And I get what you're saying, that maybe these guys are worth the money per what's already happened. But what I'm saying is, it can't just keep going up, because just follow me here. So let's just say one of these two signs a 10-year, $40 million deal or $400 million deal. Okay, so $40 million per year, and we're all going to say, just like we did with the A-Rod thing, that's unbelievable, right? Can never get any higher than that. I mean, but let's just say, for example, one of them tanks. Let's say one of them gets hurt, but they're still paying that contract.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? There's no guarantees on any of this for anybody. I just think we're getting into numbers that are just insane to me.
Okay, well,
I mean, A-Rod's was insane to me, Easerays. I'm not saying that wasn't either. I mean, going back, I mean, you think these guys are making $10+ million to play baseball, and there's guys that are not very good at baseball that are making $10+ million. If am I right?
Jeff Samar just signed a 5-year, $90 million contract with the Giants 3 years ago.
Example?
He's awful.
He's
awful.
Yeah. I'm just saying that's where at some point the people that are getting charged the money for it are the fans.
David Price is the third highest paid player in baseball. He makes $30.7 million. $30 million contract with the Red Sox. Miguel Cabrera is getting paid $30 million by the Tigers. Yoenis Cespedes gets $29 million.
Well,
you're trying.
which of those guys
do you want instead of Machado or Harper?
But when those contracts were signed, everybody thought Cespedes was going to be the man. I mean, I understand these guys are going in their prime; they're 26, but let's just say they start to slide at 33 because, by the way, we're not supposed to be using PEDs anymore.
But then you're
7 good years.
You're
not going to see
years.
the increases like you did back in the 90s and early 2000s, where guys start getting better at 34.
But if they make it to 33, then that's 7 good years.
Can I ask you something?
But 3 years. All right.
Let me ask something. Why are we saying right now they're going into their prime?
Because that's the prime. The history of baseball has shown that the prime ages is 25 to 30. You don't want to sign anybody past the age of 30 to a large contract.
The prime age in the history of baseball and the history of numbers, as far as fantasy baseball is considered, 27 is your prime year. Yes or no?
Yeah.
But if we're looking at numbers now and we're changing, we're no longer we don't look at those numbers of batting average or whatever else. Do the numbers change at all? Was Bryce Harper's prime 2 years ago or his MVP year? Because he's got all these games underneath his belt and he came up a little bit earlier. I'm not saying he isn't. Everybody out there who listens to the show knows I love the guy and I think he's the best player on the planet. But we keep saying he's in his prime. How are we sure that number hasn't changed? If we're changing analytics and we look at different numbers now, how do we know we're not looking at things, the number of their prime age any different?
Well, I mean, I'm not the smart enough guy to figure that out, but just if you go by 150 years of baseball, and especially the last 70 years, when the guys get to the 26 to 28 range, that's when they're their best.
Okay, I got
another one for you. and I know you're not an agent or an owner, but what do you think would be fair pay for either one of them right now?
If this is me, and I know being a Giants fan, I think this is kind of what the Giants did. Honestly, if you want to get the best out of them, I'd offer them 5 years, 180. That way you get a high average salary, and you're not into it for too long, and then you can pay them. I mean, they can make their $32 million a year.
Well, that's 36.
Yeah, but it's loaded in different ways.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean, I just pulled a number. I mean, I'm just saying, I don't want to do 5 years, $200 million. That's too much.
Off the top of your head, that was a good number. So.
That's too much. I think 400. I think the $40 million is too much. I remember last year I was on your guys' show and I said that. I said 10 years, 400. I think 40 is
more.
Too much.
I like your time restrictions a lot better.
Yeah, I think that's something players. I think that is something the players need to get over. I agree there. They need to probably sign shorter contracts with higher annual values as opposed to signing these. That Pujols deal is atrocious. Everyone knows it. And they maybe got 3 good years out of it. They maybe got 3 good years out of it. Well, I mean, the A-Rod one, looking back, it didn't work out too bad. I mean, he hit a lot of homers.
He still had to go. He still had to go to the Yankees to win a title.
You can't measure baseball players by titles.
All right,
that's just silly.
I can measure him by PEDs, though, can I?
Well, yeah, sure, that's fine.
Okay.
I'm just saying you can't measure it by titles.
What incentive do these players have to sign shorter deals if they're going to play out their prime and then get a garbage contract once they're 30, 31? Because nobody's going to give them a contract at the age that like they're asking for now at the age of 31.
Well, maybe
you make it. That's why they want the long deal.
Maybe you make it so they have to sign a deal before this.
Maybe they all need to hang out with Trevor Bauer, who said he's only going to sign 1-year deals once he hits free agency, and if he ever signs a multi-year contract, his buddy gets to shoot him in the nuts with a paintball gun from point blank range.
I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Easy Eyes, thanks for calling in, man.
Thanks for calling in and arguing with me, buddy.
Yeah, it was
Appreciate
good.
it.
Yeah.
Thanks
for keeping it clean, guys.
Oh, you watch your mouth, son. I'll have none of that out of you, sir.
Okay.
Catch you later, guys.
Thanks, Easy Eyes. No, it's interesting to think of that point.
It's something you can argue about.
The point Bobby made at the end is a good point because they make a 5-year deal and now they're over the age of 30 and now they're
now you're too old.
Yeah, now you're too old to get another
max
5-year contract
to get max money.
Yeah.
You're not too old to get another 5-year contract, but you're too old to get max money.
The thing
but
that
at
bothers
the same
me,
time, I mean.
The thing that bothers me is if these two agents are really in the middle of a pissing match to see who can sign the bigger deal.
And that's what I think it is more than anything.
Really the thing that bothers me the most.
And then everybody's making it sound like it's the ownerships.
Because I mean...
Not everybody, but some people are spinning it that way.
I mean, what are before we break or whatever else, the Twins are like $80 million under the cap, right? I mean, they can afford that. Yeah. Sure. They can afford Bryce for a year. A 1-year deal. It'd be worth it. You make all that back.
I always just want to know how much money is too much money, or how much money is enough money for these guys.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm with Bobby.
And I understand that their careers are short and they're trying to make as much money as possible, and that's their rights as free agents and all that. But like, how much money is enough for these guys? Is 10? If he really did turn down a 10-year, $300 million deal, $30 million a year, is that not enough for him? Like,
I'm just going off just me. If one person just dropped me $20 million right now, that's enough. I don't need any more.
Yeah,
just once.
But then again, you're not one of the 5 best players in baseball. So.
I might be the 5 best at something. I don't know.
Well, let's find out what that is and see if someone will pay you fair market value.
That'd be awesome.
Right. Bobby, thank you so much for coming in. I don't know. I don't know if you enjoyed it as much as
Bobby.
We did,
I'll go down to $10 million. Even.
Yeah.
I think I can make it the rest of my life on $10 million.
I'll go down to 5.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, don't fire anybody this weekend from the Quad City Times.
Yeah, Bobby, be nice.
Because Matt's not going to be back till Sunday. And enjoy
the fleet.
Yeah, 3 nights. Yeah, you got the Alliance.
And the Alliance.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So and then you got 3 nights of hockey too.
Yeah.
And you got I'm sure you got to get to work and tell everybody where to be. Go, leave.
No,
you get to Erie. You go here.
That place runs itself.
Jaybird, I think you got a caller.
Oh no, I do.
No,
it's on hold. Yeah, I guess I do.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we got one call before we go to break.
Okay, hold on.
All right, you're on 93.5. Who do we got?
Hey, it's Kyle. Hey, I got a contract idea for you.
Uh-oh.
So I think the last caller's idea of going 5 years is a little bit more palatable for owners because you're not tied in long term. But what if you said take $10 million for 30 years, the Bobby Bonilla idea, where he signed a contract through I think it's 2032 for $1.1 million a year.
Yeah, with the Mets.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So then if you went the opposite of that, what you would do is they would get their $300 million, but then they don't have to worry about, hey, I want to make this for 10 years. And it makes it a little bit more palatable to a GM to manage a roster too. I just think the hardest part is figuring out what's the return on investment on $32 million a year, and how do you quantify that? Because if it was a business and I said, well, you're going to put $10,000 into this piece of equipment, I can tell you how long it takes to recoup that $10,000. How do you determine that with a $30 million payout?
That's a very, very interesting and intelligent way to look at it. That's you guys. That's it. I mean, he nailed it right there. How do you look on it and know when you turn the investment on your return profit on your investment?
Right. You can't just have an infinite ceiling.
The last caller said you can't judge players on titles, but if you're signing one of these guys, you're signing him with the intention of he's going to help you win a title at some point down the road, right? You're not signing Bryce Harper to a...
Yeah, and you are. I mean, no matter what sport you're in, you're signing guys that you want to help you win a title. At least that's...
if somebody signs Bryce Harper to a big deal and he puts up Hall of Fame numbers but doesn't win a title, was it worth it for that team?
Right, and that's what makes Clayton Kershaw terribly overpaid.
Correct. You're right, and that's
why no return in the playoffs.
Oh,
that's really good, and I
love it.
I want to look at that too. I want to think about that because there's.
I've never heard anybody quantify return on investment for a baseball player or any athlete.
Okay, there's got to be analytics. If you look at all the let's just say if you're Harper's agent and you look at the average, how many times the average attendance when games he's not there compared to when he's there, if they could do it that
right.
I mean, that's one way because you can say, okay, a bump in ticket sales here. I don't know if an Under Armour deal goes with that any way with them, so you can't say his likeness, but jersey sales, and that's another thing.
Things that go to the owners.
Yeah.
So that's the idea I was hoping would come out here, because then the problem is what you've got in baseball is you've got declining interest with rising contracts. What are the owners going to do? Pay less. You have less interest. You've got less ticket sales. So why would I pay guys these $30 million contracts if the interest isn't there in the sport? We're not bringing in the revenue to pay them. It's not even business savvy. Can't just keep paying them an unlimited contract.
Name me the one massive free agent deal that worked out for the team that signed it. A-Rod didn't work out for the Rangers. Stanton didn't work out for the Marlins. Kershaw hasn't worked out for the Dodgers. Pujols didn't work out for the Angels.
It's a massive liability.
I mean, the one that maybe panned out was Hayward to the Cubs, but he didn't do anything. They just happened to win a title when he was on the team. But there hasn't been a massive free agent signing that I can think of that yielded that team a World Series.
No, not at all.
Yep. No.
All right, thanks, guys.
Hey, no, we appreciate you. Appreciate calling in, man.
That was awesome.
Yep.
All right, a lot of good stuff today. All right. Do you want the latest in TV and security technology but don't know where to start? Call Done Right TV and Security Solutions, your Dish premier local retailer, and get started today. They'll take the guesswork out of choosing the latest in smart home technology with your budget in mind. Dish has been a leader in technology for years, and the Hopper Smart HD DVR interacts with your smart speaker to change channels, pause, and fast forward with just the sound of your voice. So sign up today and receive a desk doorbell system free, courtesy of Done Right. Call 866-84-RIGHT today and let Done Right provide local professional installation with personal service that's trusted by thousands of homeowners and businesses in the Quad Cities. Requires an internet-connected Hopper, and restrictions do apply. That's Done Right TV and Security, 866-84-RIGHT.
Criticism where? From where?
Outside. Noise.
From where?
Twitter, radio.
Yeah. Oh, I'd give a rat's ass about Twitter. It's a platform for people that are sitting home drawing an unemployment check, sitting in front of a keyboard.
This is Tom Kakert from HawkeyeReport.com, and you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local on ESPN 93.5.
1,000 coaster pucks drop on Saturday night as your hockey team, the Quad City Storm, hosts the Birmingham Bulls at 7:10. It's hard-hitting hockey action at the TaxSlayer Center, with the first 1,000 fans receiving a coaster puck sponsored by One Step, your Quad City printer. Purchase your game tickets today on the Storm website. where $5 to $8 of each ticket will be donated directly to our Quad Cities YMCAs. Look under special ticket offers once you visit the Storm's website. After the game, take your collector coaster puck to any Quad City YMCA location. They'll waive your joining fee just by showing them your puck. It's that easy. And it's this Saturday night. The Storm and the Bulls. 7:10 face-off. Get your tickets today on the Storm website. Sponsored by One Step, helping Quad City businesses look good every day.
And now an old classic commercial from Mark Brenny.
We're out in the great north woods of Scott County with outdoorsman and part-time motorcycle maniac Mark Brenny of Brenny's Motorcycle Clinic in Bettendorf to see what he does in the off-season. Hey, Mark, what are you doing up in that tree?
Hunting deer! Don't want my family to starve this winter.
So, what's all that equipment you have there?
Well, there's my thermos, my Walkman Game Boy, pork and beans, microwave, newspaper, well, and of course my trusty gun.
So, how'd you get all that out here?
Only one way. Got me a new Yamaha four-wheel drive all-terrain vehicle. Made it in one load. Comes with front and rear racks, A-frame suspension, shaft drive. I even put a camouflage cover on this one.
Okay, so what's with the snowplow?
Well, you never know. Hey, wait. I see a deer.
Mark, that deer is as small as my dog.
So, watch this shot.
Oh, Mark, I think you missed.
Well, that's how most deer hunts go. So, let's just ride Yamaha four-wheelers the rest of the day. Hey, wait. There's another one.
See them at Brenny's Motorcycle Clinic, 4426 State Street, Bettendorf, across from Alcoa.
Did I hit it?
Almost.
This Valentine's Day at Mary's Diamonds and Jewelry, we have selected 3 amazing Valentine deals starting at just $99. And with every purchase, you will receive a rose from Coleman's Florist and Lago Marcino's Chocolate.
As always, we have our gorgeous bridal collection starting as low as $299 with interest-free financing available.
We're your one-stop shop at Mary's Diamonds and Jewelry, 2115 East 12th Street in the village of East Davenport, home of the new Wow Factor.
Happy Valentine's Day!
It's the hottest chicken in town. It's hard-hitting, high-flying, non-stop entertainment. It's Quad City Steamwheelers football. The IFL season kicks off Friday night, February 22nd against the San Diego Strike Force. Tickets start at only $10, so bring the entire family and meet the players after the game. Experience the excitement of professional indoor football. Call the Tax Slayer box office or visit SteamwheelerTickets.com. That's Friday night, February 22nd, the Steamwheelers versus San Diego, presented by Crawford Company. Touchdown, Steamwheelers!
ESPN 93.5 is KJOC Bettendorf Quad Cities from the Sheedy Family Chiropractic Studio.
We're back in the Hassel Palace, brought to you by Done Right Satellite and Dish.
Must be baseball season.
It is. Don't Hassle Us Local here on ESPN 93.5. Thanks to Easer A's and to Kyle for calling in last segment. And joining us, taking Bobby Metcalf's place on the hot seat, Adam Rosso from Hawkeye Report.
Happy Valentine's Day, Rosso.
And WHBM.
Thank you, guys. The same to you. You guys got big plans for your significant others?
It's funny
we did it last night, man.
It's funny that we're talking baseball because usually I just get a few fantasy baseball magazines in my Valentine's Day stocking. So hopefully when I get home tonight, I got some reading material.
There you go.
Talk
You
fantasy.
get a stocking?
Nah, I just made that up. But
That was good stuff, by the way, listening on the way in and then just being a fly on the wall for a little bit.
Yeah, continuing the conversation.
And that last caller, it is interesting because, you know, baseball will always have its core fans and its core supporters and diehards. But, you know, the fact that, I think we touched on it maybe last week, 2 weeks ago, the fact that this isn't headline news, that arguably the top 3 hitter in the game isn't signed yet and where pitchers and catchers have reported, like that's, compare that in other team sports, you know, like, say Steph Curry's not signed, one of the top 4 players in the NBA. This is like Steph Curry watch 24/7 on FS1 and ESPN News, 24/7. Baseball, It's like, well, he hasn't signed today. Reportedly,
It
there was
happened last year in football. Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, same thing, right? Same thing, 24/7.
You're right. It was 24/7.
And that's the interesting thing to me, because I feel like Harper's the most marketable guy. He's got pizzazz. He's got. I like watching him play. I like listening to him talk. I like his moxie that he goes around. I think baseball, in my opinion, needs some of that from guys.
Sure loves him.
And the fact that he's not getting this, like, what the heck's going on treatment from ESPN, that tells you how far down below not only NFL and NBA, but this time of year it's down below college basketball. Duke has that huge comeback. You're not going to hear about Bryce Harper
Down below
trying to get signed.
Alliance even.
You know?
Harper doesn't get into all that nonsense. He just wants to hit dingers.
Oh, I love his pizzazz. So when it was a walk-off a couple years ago where just a 98 down the middle and he just turned on it and sent it about 420 into right center at Nationals Field.
Makes me smile.
Dropped it, admired it. I like that stuff. I like that, guys can get drilled if they do that. That's the whole unwritten rule thing in baseball is great to me. I just feel like, Joey Batista, let's flip the bat in the playoffs and watch it if I'm hitting into the third deck. That's huge. Not many people in the world can do that. Turn on a fastball like that in the playoffs, rip it into the third deck. So, yeah, he can admire it. That's fine.
You know what else makes me smile, Rosso? 7 years for $25 million for Polanco. 5 years for 25 for Kepler. I'll take it with a 6-year option. Look at that, saving money for Harper. Harper signed a 1-year deal.
Did you read there was a column in the Star Tribune, Jim Souhan, 2-3 days ago, signed Craig Kimbrell and Bryce Harper. Why not? You got the money. Mm-hmm. Nobody's doing it. Make a splash. Try see what you can do this year.
1 year. Give it 1 year then.
And like I was saying here in the break when Bobby was leaving and I was coming in, I think it's all like with the team like the Twins where, there's some buzz, there's some diehards, but it's not, you're not getting 40, you're not selling it out anymore at Target Field. Bring in, sign some tickets. You don't think Bryce Harper's going to put butts in the seats? You're kidding yourself. There'd be a ton of people coming to watch him.
It would be a.
Well, I did the math.
We would the miles logged in. I would rival Hawkeye Elvis coming down from the Twin Cities to Iowa City of me driving up to the Twin Cities for games. So I'd rival. I'd be up there with him.
All right, so I did the math, Rosso, when you were talking.
Fuzzy math.
81 home games. You're selling 40,000 seats per game at an average of $50 a seat. That gives you $162 million to spend. That doesn't count any concession sales. That's just off seat sales alone. So off that,
But like you said, you're not selling out. But you are making it up with the seats, and you are going to put.
Okay, say Bryce Harper brings in 10% of that. Say he adds 4,000 per night.
Well, he's taken 30.
But
he takes $36 million off the top of that. So you're down to 130, 120. I'm sorry.
So what you're doing is you're making these raise points for them that they have the money. That the owners.
I'm trying.
This isn't if they have the money. It's if the market value. It's if they're both close to the market value. That's how they have arbitration, right? Like an independent arbiter rules what the market value is.
That's just one player, though, Jay.
And I think that this was. It's reflected in what were Michael's contracts the last few years of the Bulls? 1 year, $35 million, something like that, right? And it probably wasn't close to enough. Same with LeBron. If you look at Cleveland now, how much money do you think have left the Cavs on their game-to-game basis because LeBron James doesn't play there anymore? It's got to be astronomical, right?
Their individual money came mostly from endorsements anyway.
What do you mean? I'm saying what the team gets back. Like we were talking return on investment. So Michael Jordan at 1 year, 32, or even Kobe when he got paid that much.
Right.
That's paying for itself. It's probably half of what they're bringing in just based on having LeBron or Michael or Kobe. And so, basketball is different than baseball. Obviously, we were saying there's so many more games, but still, that big name, it's worth a lot. And the issue is that Bryce Harper and his agent, is it Boris? I don't even know if Scott Boris is his agent. I think he is.
I think Boris is, and Machado has a different agent.
So they think Bryce is worth close to $40 million. The owners probably think he's worth close to $31 million. Well, who wants to blink? And I would think at a certain point, I would think that at a certain point, Harper says, yeah, I want to play. I want to, but I think also the players union, another element, I don't know if you guys talked about this before I was listening, but the players union wants to maximize their earning power. And if the star upon stars in the game settles for $9 million less, what about Max Kepler? Well, we paid him this, so it sets the market value for everybody else in that position group. And that was the whole thing with Joe Mauer. Will he take a hometown discount? Any of these guys, will they take the hometown discount? Well, the players union saying you damn well better not. Because then everybody else, they're going to point to you and say, well, the best catcher in the league took $5 million less per year, so we're going to play the 20th catcher in the league.
Aaron Nola is not getting 4 years, $45 million, guys. If they don't maximize that, you're right.
And that's how that all works.
Can be blamed for this too. So you can't blame the owners here either. You have to blame the players. Association.
Yeah, it's all three. There's all three parties: the agent and his client, the players union, and the owners. All three of them are equal blame as far as I'm concerned. And I don't fault any of them, because at the end of the day, all three of them are trying to maximize their revenue, maximize their earning power, and maximize the future, if you're going players union, the future negotiating power of other players in the league, and that's how a union works, right? I mean, you're not going to depress wages for everybody else if you don't have to. So, I don't know. Did you guys, I can't believe it's not going to be Machado to the Sox and Harper to the Phillies after all this steam, all this stuff coming out. Like, who's going to swoop in here and do it? I don't know if there's other candidates that I haven't heard of, but
I agree.
They're just waiting for one of them to budge.
Cubs are signing Jordan.
That was always fun.
And I think Machado to the Sox makes great sense.
But see, that sucks that went away.
The Cubs should get him?
Yeah, that sucked that went away.
It went away.
The
offseason.
But right about now, last year, it was always, you could always have a Cub fan that was going to be like, oh, I heard they were going to sign him. Like, it's all gone away. It's not as fun. You know, we get to figure out Schwarber lost some more weight or whatever else soon. I don't know, but that was fun.
It's because they went.
Schwarber's going to be DH, dude.
That was fun. They're going to call DA. Yeah.
Oh, they got picked to finish last in the division.
Who did?
Who did?
Cubs.
Really?
Yep.
Who did that?
So
Was it Sports Illustrated?
Not by me.
With an SI and their power rankings, money quarterbacks?
This is like a very detailed report of everything else. Yeah.
I have to look into
Cincinnati's going to improve by that much.
I don't think they're going to be the last in the division by any means. I don't think so. But
I want to ask you something else. Another subject.
It's a roller coaster for poor Cub fans. We get our own TV network. Oh, we're going to be the worst ever. We're back again.
You just won the title in 2016. I don't think there's any roller coaster. I'm sorry, guys. I don't have any sympathy for complaining Cubs fans. You just won the title.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody is.
What was me?
Like last year when everybody's, it's agonizing. Yeah, I know every year, obviously, when don't get me wrong, it's agonizing when you have 2 one-game playoffs and you can't win either of them.
Right.
But in the perspective of championships.
I hurt a lot, man. I've been in a lot of pain ever since.
I think them being picked last in the division is
reckless speculation.
Got a great manager. You got a great couple core hitters still. You got a couple great pitchers. I can't believe they're going to be anywhere close to last in that division. But I know it's a tough. Obviously, the Brewers are stacked again. I know the Reds improved. I don't know. Pirates are always kind of there now, but they don't have the stars they had before.
It's the Pacoda. Yeah, that's what it is.
Did the Cardinals get any better?
They're always kind of there too, right? Brewers got to be the favorite. Am I right? They have to be. They got a lot of young talent. They have to be the defending champs and the favorite.
We'll see.
Yeah, they had the Brewers with an 88-74 record.
Hugh Darvish is going to have a bounce back year.
We're just going to say these things now. See, now it's bringing it back. All right. Before we go to a break, though, you said
it can't get any worse.
You brought up something that becomes a touchy subject when, in the eyes of the Brian McCanns of the world, the policemen, and that was the unwritten rules of baseball. Some people don't like them. Some people do. I think there are times when someone should get plunked, but they got to wear one in the right way. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got a hard slide.
There's an art to it.
Yes.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah, and there's dirt, and then there's Bush League.
And last year, was it Machado? There was
Machado,
some very
going down first base.
Yeah, like that type of stuff. I don't,
Well, that's my knock on Machado with this contract. You're getting this kid that's kind of a dirty player, and you're going to get what from that? You're not going to get likability overall. Maybe from a core fan group, but maybe there's going to be that part of fans that are like, oh, great, we got a dirty player.
Is he the guy that you can't stand him when he's on the other team, but when he's on your side or in your clubhouse, he's the best guy? Kind of like a Brzezinski.
Yeah,
I always liken him to AJ, right?
We always, he's the go-to.
Do any of us like right now? Let's just say one of the biggest free agents in NFL is going to be Ndamukong Suh, and hands down, probably one of the dirtiest players in the last 10 years.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That I can handle though, because it's football.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want him on my team.
I don't.
And if he's on my team, I have to accept it, obviously. But I'm not going to be a fan of his. So does that thing apply to somebody like Machado? Is Machado that level of a dirty player?
Not yet.
I don't think so either. But
he's not on the right track.
But exactly, Serge. That's what I'm getting at. It's like.
And like when they hit the kid that kept hitting leadoff homers from Atlanta, that's Bush League.
Exactly.
Remember, he had what 6 games in a row or 4 games in a row, and they plunked him. Like that's the stuff where like he should drop the bat and just go knock the guy out.
Yeah. That's
whatever. Like that's where these unwritten rules go. Like there's an art. You're correct on that, Jade. Like there's an art to doing this, plunking it. Get him out.
Yeah, If you can't get him out, get him out. Yeah, you don't.
If he's John running around first base after his home runs, okay, maybe I could see you hitting him. If he's just taking you yard every time, you can't pitch to him, you can't figure out a way to do it, that's your own problem. There's nothing unwritten about that. You just aren't getting him out.
0-0 game or anything like that, or you have to. There's an art. There's a time and place for it, and it's also a way. There's a maturity to learning how to handle yourself in the league. Sometimes the kids just come up and they don't know how to. Treat maybe some elders respect. But then there are times where like Brian McCann comes out and decides he's going to be the policeman of the Major League Baseball, and you're like, shut up, Brian McCann.
Yeah.
Why aren't you retiring? So
like Puig. I think Puig, he goes over the line. He has his moments, but man, as a whole, that guy seems like he's having a blast, and he's out there.
He's fun to watch.
These guys play 162 games. Remember that. Like, and I know they're getting paid tons of money, but just remember, like, 162 games. They're flying overnight. They're sleeping from 6 a.m. to 11. They're getting to the yard. They're going batting practice. Like, they got to do some stuff to have some fun, because it's a season that goes from right now until the beginning of October.
It changes from person to person. Let's just say, give me Puig, all right? And he catches that ball and throws a guy out, and it's the same situation Bo Jackson's in with Harold Reynolds, and Harold Reynolds looks back at Bo Jackson, and Bo Jackson goes, phew. Puig does it, everyone goes, oh my Lord. First off, he can't use a fake gun. He can't point a finger. And then he does that to such and such who's got 8 years in the league plus over him. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a case by case, and people lose their minds, and it depends on what they want to do. The bat flip, going back to it, I remember the bat flip. It was a bomb that he hit, Joey Bats.
It was awesome.
That got me. That was one of the most electric moments.
Yeah. It was amazing.
Non-World Series and playoff history. One of the most electric. Just that vibe, and he just, they had a comeback and a huge inning, and like places going crazy at Skydome. Like that warranted something more than just trotting around the bases and act like you've been there. No, you actually haven't been there before, because you probably haven't hit a 3-run homer in the 8th inning to basically win the series over Texas. Like, so no, he should be excited, and he should admire it and then toss the bat.
Right.
Like, I don't mind. If that's a regular season game, all right, maybe that's a little excessive. For that moment, it fit it perfectly.
Yeah.
Well, Odor got him back the next year anyway.
Yeah, but is that do you think that's why they like that?
Absolutely, that's why he got popped.
If it was day 2 of the season and you hit that home run, that exact same one, to still be down 3-4.
Yeah, exactly, right.
Then you don't do that.
All right, we got to take a quick break. Go ahead and call. We're going to give away tickets to tomorrow night's Quad City Storm game and a $25 gift card to Texas Roadhouse, courtesy of Done Right TV Security and Solutions. Call 391-3776. 2 tickets to the Storm, $25 gift card to Texas Roadhouse, courtesy of Done Right TV and Solutions. 391-3776.
Van's Pizza Pub and Grill has the best Thursday night specials to encourage you to make your way in for $1 off Van's signature wings and $3 25-ounce drafts, $3 cooler shots. When you're there, make sure you try one of Van's specialty pizzas like the Iowa Farmhand, a pizza like no other with homemade farmhand sauce, diced pork tenderloin, yellow onions, and topped with diced pickles. Or you can try Jaybird's favorite, the Yo Adrian. That's right. Make sure you check them out. That's Van's Food Items at the vanspizza.net. And then you can get a hold of Good to Go Quad Cities at 322-2220. And you can get all that Good to Go at goodtogoquadcities.com as well. And make sure you... Yeah, boy. Anyway, Van's Pizza Pub and Grill. Come get served.
Give me a hell yeah!
This is Merrick Brave from SCW Pro, and you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local on ESPN 93.5.
Winter sports teams at Augustana College are rapidly heading towards the conclusion of their conference seasons. Saturday the 9th, it's another basketball doubleheader at the Carver Center. The Vikings host Millikan on senior night with games at 5 and 7. Men's volleyball returns home this Saturday at 3, the 16th, as they welcome North Park. Conference tournaments and a variety of sports follow. For more information, visit augustana.edu. Augustana College, a family-friendly front row seat to big-time small college sports.
1,000 coaster pucks drop on Saturday night as your hockey team, the Quad City Storm, host the Birmingham Bulls at 7:10. It's hard-hitting hockey action at the TaxSlayer Center, with the first 1,000 fans receiving a coaster puck, sponsored by One Step, your Quad City printer. Purchase your game tickets today on the Storm website, where $5 to $8 of each ticket will be donated directly to our Quad Cities YMCAs. Look under special ticket offers once you visit the Storm's website. After the game, take your collector coaster puck to any Quad City YMCA location. They'll waive your joining fee just by showing them your puck. It's that easy. And it's this Saturday night. The Storm and the Bulls, 7:10 face-off. Get your tickets today on the Storm website. Sponsored by One Step, helping Quad City businesses look good every day.
This Valentine's Day at Mary's Diamonds and Jewelry, we have selected 3 amazing Valentine deals starting at just $99. And with every purchase, you will receive a rose from Coleman's Florist and Lago Marcino's Chocolate.
As always, we have our gorgeous bridal collection starting as low as $299 with interest-free financing available.
We're your one-stop shop at Mary's Diamonds and Jewelry, 2115 East 12th Street in the Village of East Davenport, home of the new Wow Factor.
Happy Valentine's Day!
Old Man Winter seems like he's here to stay. Do you have your vehicle protected? LineX of the Quad Cities can help protect you from everything Mother Nature can throw at you. Floor liners, cargo liners, mud flaps, truck bed covers, protective coatings, rust proofing, and more. Whether you travel on-road, off-road, or off the grid, LineX has got you covered. Don't buy your next vehicle without a stop at LineX of the Quad Cities. Call LineX today at 563-445-4639. Don't just protect it, LineX it.
It's the hottest ticket in town. It's hard-hitting, high-flying, non-stop entertainment. It's Quad City Steamwheelers football. The IFL season kicks off Friday night, February 22nd against the San Diego Strike Force. Tickets start at only $10, so bring the entire family and meet the players after the game. Experience the excitement of professional indoor football. Call the TaxSlayer box office or visit SteamwheelerTickets.com. That's Friday night, February 22nd, the Steamwheelers versus San Diego, presented by Crawford Company.
Now, back to Don't Hassle Us. We're local on ESPN 93.5.
We're coming back into the Hassle Palace, brought to you by Dunright Satellite and Dish. And that music means it is Hassle Streak bet time.
New promo from my bookie.
Oh, we got a new promo, huh?
They got a weird deal going on about the NBA. Read it.
Okay. We're going to... Hi, Jay.
No, you don't have to read that part. Dear Lord.
I'm going to read it just like it says, Jay. I'm Ron Burgundy.
What the heck?
All right. You can lock in to win 2019. I don't know. I can't read it. You read it.
MyBookie.com. Use the promo code QCHassle. They're going to pay out an NBA early prop bet, but it adds some extras. So here's the deal. Luka Doncic, a lock to win the 2019 Rookie of the Year. They saw no reason to make people wait until the end of the season to receive their winnings, so they're already going to pay out more than $150,000 in winning tickets for those who bet Doncic during the season. For the unlucky ones who did not, should Luka not win the 2019 Rookie of the Year, we will double the payout on the player who does. But wait, there's more. Now you can bet on Zion Williams to be the 2020 NBA Rookie of the Year at 3-1 odds. If Zion does not take home the title, they'll refund all the bets. No risk, all win, bet now. Promo runs from Thursday to Monday. Use promo code QCHassle at mybookie.com. And every day we have a QC Hassle Streak bet. Yesterday, Kakert kicked it off for the Hasslers. Rosso, do you have a bet for us?
You know, we're looking through some light schedule on college basketball, but number 2 Gonzaga is in action down at
Loyola.
Little Bo Kimball, little Hank Gathers, 1990.
Oh, yeah, bringing it back.
You know, and
HG.
Gonzaga actually has been dominating their West Coast Conference opponents. But it's a 20-point spread at Loyola Marymount.
Do you know how many
I just on the road? If this is at the Kennel
spreads, right?
I don't know, and I feel like just reading that they've just played their toughest stretch and they've dominated their conference opponents. I feel like they're due for a little bit of a letdown, meaning they'll win by like 12 versus what I'm going to go. I'm going to channel Hank Gathers, R.I.P. Hank, and I'm going to go with the Loyola Marymount Lions plus 20
Are you
at
going
home.
to shoot left-handed too?
He should. That's Bo Kimball. That was one of my first memories of the NCAA tournament. How crazy is that?
It's one of my first ones too, but that's 2 years before my really getting into it. I didn't understand it. I remember some teams winning it, and I can kind of remember a buzz about Jordan Schott, but really it was the 1988 Kansas versus Oklahoma, if that's right, in the national. Danny Manning. That would have been it, yeah. And then I'm sorry, I think I remember '87. That was Indiana versus Syracuse, wasn't it?
Keith Smart.
God, I have a dumb memory.
Yeah,
like
over
Syracuse. That's just dumb that I know that. Michigan was 1989, right?
I think it was Ronnie
And then
Cycling.
90 is the Marymount year with the Running Rebels, and that's who beat them, actually. UNLV, Tarkanians, Tark the Shark, and that team beat Loyola Marymount in the Elite Eight before winning the title. I believe in Denver, the Final Four was, and the only reason I remember that because the Golden Gophers of Minnesota, who I think beat Northern Iowa that year, Jay.
Mm-hmm.
Does that sound right? 1990, Northern Iowa, or Iowa State? It's one of the two Iowa teams.
I know the year you're talking about.
Northern Iowa was in it in 1990.
Okay, I think it was Northern Iowa.
Muhlenberg, I think, was on the team there for that one. See, this is dumb that I know this stuff.
And then they went to the Elite Eight, lost to Kenny Anderson and the Ramblin' Wreck of Georgia Tech.
It watched
before going to they went to the Final Four.
Well, hey, we got something to announce.
36 basketball games ever
we got
in
a
my
big
life.
winner out there.
Okay,
big winner out there in the Quad Cities. Congratulations to Heather Moosman of Milan. She won the tickets to the Quad City Storm for tomorrow night's game.
Take a friend out for
gift
dinner
certificate
in hockey
to Texas Roadhouse and $3 off Kona beer. So congratulations.
Hey, Rosso, are you? Is Channel 4? I know it's a month out or so, but are there plans for the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, absolutely.
You're going to Des Moines? Or you're going to go?
I hope it's not in Des Moines. I'll go wherever the Hawks go. Yeah.
Well, I hope. Well, then since you just don't want to go to Des Moines that bad, I hope you have to go to Hartford.
All right, that's fine. I don't know if I said this on air or not.
You love the New England area because you're a Patriots guy.
Me and Tom and I maybe hang out, get some protein shakes, avocado toast, whatever he does.
He is wearing Patriots colors, everyone.
It's a Twins hat. Jay has that hat too, or something close to it.
I have something close. I wish I had that one because I like the Target hat. I know. I like that.
Bullseye in the back of the hat.
It was a giveaway.
Yeah, it was a giveaway. Exactly. No, I mean, as far as those sites are concerned, I think we actually went through them the other day. So driving distance is Tulsa, obviously Des Moines, and Columbus. And then you have Jacksonville, Florida, Columbia, South Carolina, Hartford, San Jose, and Salt Lake City. So it's basically three places that you can easily get to in a day's drive.
He doesn't think it's Des Moines. He doesn't think it's Columbus. So it's either be Tulsa. He really wants to go San Jose. This is what Kaker was saying, which I understand all those. He doesn't want to go to Hartford, which I completely understand. So
Jacksonville wouldn't be awful.
He just says it's very spread out.
Okay. Yeah. I don't actually know the arena in Jacksonville either. I mean, all the other places, obviously Salt Lake's where the Jazz play. Mm-hmm. San Jose, I believe, is where the Sharks play. It's probably in the HP Center or whatever. Columbia, South Carolina is another one. I'm not sure exactly where they would play it.
They're not going to send us anywhere where the Hawks going, so we just have to slum it in Des Moines. But we are going to go dancing.
But we got our tickets.
Yeah, we got credentialed finally.
Yeah, it's gonna. I mean that it can't be Drake because they're the whole school. And from what I read, a couple things. They pod these things in terms of they want to give the 1, 2, and 3 seeds the quote unquote home court advantage. Mm-hmm. So that's where Iowa or Iowa State would have to surpass a Kansas team, or even Kansas State if they win the Big 12. Let's be honest on that, because Kansas State or Kansas would either go Des Moines or Tulsa. There's no question about that. Mm-hmm. On the flip side, like a Columbus, you'd probably have to be one of the top 2 teams in the Big Ten, right? Because you got to figure either Michigan State, or Purdue, whoever wins the Big Ten or the Big Ten tournament is going to get the Columbus because they're going to be probably a 2 seed, right? I mean, and then the Southeast ones are basically taken by Duke's going to be in South Carolina. You'd have to figure, right?
Well,
and
I would, but
and Virginia's probably going to go to Hartford or wherever. Did you watch that comeback, by the way?
Yeah.
I mean,
did you see him holding that basketball, trying to take that basketball away?
No.
Fingertips and denting a fully inflated basketball.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
Just his fingertips.
Yeah.
I literally left the newsroom downtown Rock Island. It was 59-40. I got home, flipped open my computer. That's 25 minutes later. It's 69-66 with a minute to go, and then we talked
about the other day. That Serge brought up.
Unless they get some injuries, I mean, there's a couple teams that can challenge them, but man alive, when they're on, they are on.
What did Coach say the next day? They're like,
I know Coach
Losers. Which got me yesterday. I went down a YouTube wormhole of either one, players going off on reporters, or have you ever heard the Bobby Knight halftime speech?
The Greg Graham?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what started because I wanted to listen to it again because I love it so much.
Well, I don't remember the one.
I can't play it on the air.
Yeah, it's a little colorful.
Can you ad-lib a little bit?
I'm not going to go through another 8-10 record in this league or 10-8, and I'm going to run you so high. It's really good, but it's very, very not safe for work and not safe to be on the air. Do you have any buy or sell for us?
I do,
All
yeah.
right.
Do we want to go basketball or do we want to kind of go off the... Well, first of all, T-Row, who'd you pick this week in the old fantasy golf league? I haven't even checked my emails to put them together.
I took Sang Moon Bay.
Okay.
Yeah, I this morning at like 7:15. Hopefully that was the time.
No, well after the tea time. He's
Well,
disqualified.
it's Pacific time, so I think you're good. I actually had my...
Stick that, Jay.
Long story short, my Gmail was locked up yesterday because I had too much stuff in there. So I wasn't getting anybody's emails, and I was freaking out.
They were freaking out.
And then at, 10:30 last night after I was done working, I was like, I got to figure this out. And then they started popping in. So hopefully we're good. Anyway, let's start with golf. And I don't know if you've talked about this or saw this story. Matt Kuchar, at the Sony Open in Hawaii, he had to scramble to get a caddy because he was a late entry to the tournament. So he got a local caddy that knew the course. He ends up winning the tournament, $1.2 million. Typically, caddies that are on the bag every week, they have an agreement that if the guy gets a winning share, he gets X amount of $100,000. I don't know if it's a 10% keep, so he'd get $120,000 if you win 1.2. It's somewhere around six figures, I think, for a winner's bonus. Otherwise, it's I think 5% of winnings or whatever, 3%. So Kuchar wins. He pays his caddy $500,000.
Go lower.
$300,000 or
Lower.
$5,000.
Yes.
$5,000. Are you buying or selling that Matt Kuchar's a cheapskate for only giving this guy $5,000 of his $1.2 million?
I'm buying it. He is a cheapskate.
The amount has been criticized by some as being too small. A top 10 finish typically is a 10% bonus for a win.
I mean, I don't know. You don't.
$1.296 million.
I'm not saying so. If the guy's coming in there and he's saying, "All right, I'm going to pay you $5,000, $3,000, whatever." All right, but if you win, and you're normally given a bonus, I'm not saying you got to give him $100,000, but maybe, maybe give him $50,000, $25,000, something a little more than. We'll give you $5,000. I'll take my $1.195 million, and you can have that $5,000. And Kuchar, from what I've read this morning and last night, he doesn't think there's any problem with it.
I give a rat's ass about Twitter.
He says he's not losing sleep over it, and he believes this is a social media issue. He said it was an agreed-upon amount before the tournament, and he doesn't feel like he should have to...
Win or lose, though. Win or lose, agreed upon. He could have missed the cut. He was still going to pay him $5,000. Is that basically all it is?
He says it was an agreed-upon deal that not only did he meet, he exceeded. So I guess maybe originally they were just at $2,000-$3,000, and he gave him a little bonus. I think he's a... Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. Golf is a gentleman's game, and that's not very gentlemanly. So I'm buying that one, too. That's a huge cheapskate.
Just for that, Kuchar, I will not take you in my fantasy golf all year.
Yeah.
You sit there and...
Is he not well-liked?
No, he's got a pretty good rep, I feel like.
Really well-liked.
Not anymore. Do they go, Cooch?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a weird one. I just think it's a weird thing, like, and it sounded like...
You don't want that type of reputation.
When it sounded like the caddy, like, he knew, I didn't know what they get for bonuses, like you said, top 10 or the winner's share. I don't know caddies get bonuses, but it sounded like this guy did because he's a caddy at a professional course. And he reached out to Kuchar's agent and somebody else saying, hey, he won. Like, do I get more of a cut? And they basically said, no. You get what we told you you're going to get before the tournament.
Yeah, and he's saying that the caddy David was quite aware of it, and he felt on Sunday when he paid him that David was fine with it, and it wasn't until Monday that he says that he reached out and said, hey, do I get a little bit more? And now he feels ripped off.
But, a guy, like let's be honest, if the guy gets $10,000 extra, so he gets $15,000, I just feel like the gesture, all you needed to gesture was what he needed to do. It's not the dollar amount. It's the fact, hey, I won. Here's an extra $10,000, $5,000, whatever. Let's double, triple it. It doesn't need to be $500,000, obviously, but I just think it's the gesture of not being tone deaf to the whole situation.
You could have given him 10%, given the guy $100,000, make the guy's year. Good Lord.
It was the agreed upon $3,000 was already well below what a regular caddy would make. The guy David, and I'm not going to go, but he goes by the name El Toucan. I like the nickname for the caddy.
Toucan.
El Toucan.
Yeah.
I like the nickname.
I don't know. I just whatever, Matt Kuchar. Whatever. T-Roy's not taking him.
Nickname L too cheap.
Yeah. Ooh.
Too can't. L2 can't.
It's like not tipping your bartender. It's just weak. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it definitely is. All right, let's go to one more. We have time for one more at least. Yeah. This will be. We'll get an interesting one. It's a little Hawkeye basketball. They're back in action. Rutgers this weekend out at the Rutgers Athletic Club in Piscataway, the mecca of Big Ten basketball, Big Ten athletics, Rutgers.
Yes.
But anyway,
of course. I think of Big Ten.
Buying or selling the Iowa women going further than the Iowa men in the NCAA tournament.
I'll buy it.
Right now, obviously, men are 6 or 7 seed in most bracketologies. Women are 3 or 4 seed, which means they host in Iowa City.
I'll buy it off pure numbers alone.
They'll buy it. I buy that because they're going to be in Iowa City. They'll make it to the Sweet 16.
They'll make it to Elite 8.
Wow.
Oh, boy. Hot take.
T-Roy, Elite 8 in it.
Gustafson's the best Iowa player to ever don a uniform.
She's unbelievable. I mean, unbelievable. Double machine. She's something. I will say, and Bobby was guilty of this a few weeks back, this Iowa team has its moments where they could rip off 2-3 wins in the tournament, no questions asked. Now, they also have moments like Sunday where for 35 minutes of the game, they looked awful and they got outplayed by Northwestern. But I think it's all about matchups.
Yeah.
Like Iowa gets, if I was a 4 seed, the women, and they get a 5 seed matchup that can score the basketball, one thing Iowa doesn't do well, the women, they don't defend, kind of like the men. And, we've seen the teams they've lost to have put up consistently 80 points plus. We'll see on Sunday when they play Maryland, who's ranked in the top 15. They can't stop teams, and that concerns me no matter if you're home or on the road. Men are the same way, but I think at a neutral site, a lot of times teams struggle to score more because it's not a full venue, if that makes sense. Like there's empty seats, so that the depth perception sometimes in big venues are off. Now, if they're in Des Moines, it's going to be sold out. Yeah, if they're in, I don't know, Jacksonville, and they're playing a team from the West Coast, there's not going to be anybody there.
Yeah, I hear you.
And so it changes. Some teams can get hot and do it, but it kind of changes the way a lot of teams' offenses and some shooters shoot in the postseason. Being in a venue like Carver, it's more of a college atmosphere, more of a college venue. It's more compact and obviously cozy. I think that could be an interesting spot where Iowa's defense on the women's side has them struggle. So I'm actually also going to buy, but this one's closer for me than I thought when I originally wrote it down.
Yeah, but like I said, I'll buy it just because I'd like the Hawks to make it in the second weekend, but it's going to be tough, and we know that. But
I'll have something coming later today on Hawkeye Headquarters, a little Rosso's Rants. Haven't written one for a while.
All right.
Looking at a lot of the Ken Palm numbers, trying to find some similar profiles to teams in years past at NCAA tournaments. And there's an interesting kind of hierarchy, I'll say. The Hawks need to get to a certain seed point to really have a chance to get to that second weekend. Like if they're, well, you'll see it on the article, but there's a certain seed level that has a much better chance of advancing to the Sweet 16. And when you get below a certain threshold, it's kind of out the window just because the quality of teams you have to play in back-to-back games is so much better than if you're, a different seed. So,
all right, we got another one? We got a minute. We got a couple minutes.
Quick one. This is, NBA, but last couple of games, Minnesota Timberwolves looking pretty good without Mr. Andrew Wiggins in the lineup. Buying or selling Timberwolves, moving Andrew Wiggins in the offseason.
I don't know nearly as much as I should about the T-Wolves. I know.
Where's Longville?
Yeah, I can get Longville into this. And
they beat the Rockets. They beat the Rockets last night at home. Rockets are obviously a playoff team at the moment. And Timberwolves
I
are not.
haven't known what this front office has done in the last. Not that I don't know. It's a head scratcher. Probably in the last 10 years, the number of point guards that they have taken back to back, the players that they've passed on. But
the contract to Wiggins. The contract to Wiggins isn't good.
Yeah.
But
does that mean someone's going to take it for them?
It's a good question. I think they will try their best because it seems like Robert Covington, who has been out, but the other guy they got from Philly, Saric, and then also the rookie, Agoki. They've been better with those guys in the lineup. Obviously, Derrick Rose is having a great year. I don't think Wiggins and his kind of apathetic or, just not – he's not always engaged and looks like he wants to be there. He doesn't seem like he has the competitive drive that I think you need to have if you're going to be a top 3 player on a playoff team.
It's going to be tough because they're too far away from tanking. So
they're in no man's land, which is never a good place to be in the NBA.
Not at all. Not at all.
I say they keep him.
I don't know. What do you say, Ross? I'll double down whatever you say.
I'm going to say they're gonna get rid of him because of they know the contract, and they're gonna even if they have to take a future first round pick or something like that. Because Wiggins on the right team, I think could be maybe he's either a guy coming off the bench on a really good team,
right,
as the 6th man, or he's the 4th starter.
Or does LeBron all of a sudden want him to play with him?
I don't know. But he's not.
This was the guy that got. This is the player traded for.
LeBron said, "Bye-bye. I want Kevin Love."
Yeah.
LeBron would have been much better off.
I think he's more likely to go to.
That's why LeBron shouldn't be making decisions. Yeah. So tired of LeBron.
I think he's more likely to go to one of those fringe teams where.
I think they will deal him.
Yeah.
Do you have a buy or sell LeBron question?
With Wiggins, they're talking about bringing Wiggins off the bench right now anyway. So
I
think they're going to deal him.
He's a frustrating player, and when, like Jay said, you're in no man's land where you either got to get to the playoffs again to keep people engaged and the fan base engaged, or start from scratch with essentially 3 or 4 players around Karl Anthony Towns. It's an interesting dilemma, but as Jay said, I have zero confidence that Glenn Taylor and whoever else is running the show, Scott Layden, will do anything correct because they haven't been doing it since they traded Garnett.
All right, we got to go. Thanks to everybody. Have a great Valentine's Day. Thanks to Rosser for coming in. Bobby Metcalf from the Quad City Times. Good luck to all the wrestlers out there. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, 7G. Thanks, EIT.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown.